Guys, exam season is fast approaching. I'm here to help you make your ideal study plan. My qualifications are that I got mainly 8s and A stars across GCSEs and A levels, so listen up, I know what I'm talking about. The reason why I got motivated by this video was I was sitting in class and a teacher was walking around asking us about how we're doing on our coursework, whether we had any questions, and a guy literally said to her, "I'm already considering resitting. I'm just gonna ignore this subject." And she was like, "Wait, what?" And I was literally like in awe as well. Like, what do you mean you're just gonna ignore this subject? And he was like, "Yeah, I've got more other important ones I want to prioritize, and I don't really understand the content anyways. I'm not very engaged with the lessons, and so I'm just gonna not do this module and I'm just gonna skip it." But honey, it's March and the module, like the coursework, is due in May. You do have time. We literally about to go on a month-long Easter break. And that mindset scared me. You're already deciding that you want to fail before you've even gotten up and tried at least something. And even if you don't submit the highest quality work, the fact that you don't even want to submit it, that is terrifying. So I'm here to help you guys. Genuinely, this period right before your exams is the make or break. And we're gonna make it because I said so, okay? Okay. What's most important is that you've got to have a schedule. You've got to get organized. If you weren't organized before, you've got to become it now. You've got to break up your day by possible study sessions. So either one like before school, after dinner, before bed, ideally. And these should be like short little bursts, but if you're able to make it consistent through the week, you can get into that mindset of, okay, I'm gonna do maths at 5 p.m. and then I'm gonna do English at 10. Almost like frictionless, so you're not spending so much time trying to think what to study, when and how, and that will save you a lot of time. Okay, let's move on to the actual study techniques. First one being visualization. The entire time when I was studying, I had to remind myself why I was studying, because if you don't have that motivation or that end goal, then everything kind of just seems pointless and you don't really understand how it connects to the wider being. Let's just say you're doing English and you're writing an essay on like Jekyll and Hyde, but you're like, what does this have to do with anything in my future? Like, why am I analysing this monster? But hey, you want to be a lawyer, you need to practice these literature and skills and how to craft sentences and formulate opinions. Visualizing is such an important technique because when you know your why, then there's nothing stopping you. The next method is using the specification, especially if you're in the UK. Oh, that was like my holy grail. Exam boards, they can't ask you for anything other than your specification. Either you print it out or you download it and use your iPad and annotate it, but literally use and abuse it, guys, I'm telling you. Highlight it. Use every bullet point as a potential question which they could ask you. There was a point that for my GCSEs I had memorized like all of the science specifications because I'd gone through it so many times. I literally just knew every single question which AQA could have asked for, and that is the level you want to be if you want to achieve high grades. The next point is mock papers. These are, at the end of the day, the most effective method because when you do papers repetitively from previous years, questions are only going to be oh so similar, you know? For example, for maths, chemistry, definitely, physics, the questions are just going to be the same. Like, there is oh so many things you can ask about structures or differentiation. The numbers may be different, yes, agreed, but the method will be the same. Also, it's just good to see in the eyes of the examiner, like if you're doing an essay-based subject, where you can actually be picking up marks. Another little trick I did was that if I had a maths at 9 a.m. and I don't know, sociology at 1 p.m., I would sit my mock papers at 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. so my mind can get used to the idea that, okay, I'm gonna wake up at 7 and then do maths at 9, if you kind of see what I'm following on. That to me was like the best thing because I knew like where I'll be tired and when to eat. It's like a race. You're literally like fueling for a race. You've got to find the right meals. You've got to find the right dosage of caffeine. You've got to find an ideal sleep schedule. It is a race, but it's a marathon. So you've got to be careful and not stretch yourself too thin just now. Is the Pomodoro method. So you just have a timer in which you work and then you can choose between a 5-minute short break and a 15-minute long break. And it's just basically making you get through tasks really efficiently. So I think this technique's really good for like flashcards or active recall, but I wouldn't use this all the time because I value finishing a task more rather than the time I've done it in. The next one is use AI. This might be controversial, but low-key AI actually did carry me. I personally loved Notebook LM and I still use it to this day. You create a notebook and you put in all of your notes and then you just ask it questions, and it's absolutely perfect because it's not gonna extrapolate information from random sources like ChatGPT, just create random references and random numbers. It's using your information. So I really liked creating a podcast and then listening to that while I was on the bus. So Notebook LM, I vouch for that so much. My next point is blurting. Now, when I first saw this picture, I thought, wow, that is so extreme. But low key, after a day of studying, this is like the most important thing you could ever do. It's just to recap everything you did. But if you are not revising and regurgitating that information, it is going absolutely nowhere. It's not sticking to your brain. You have got to create like a blueprint, like a mind map of this is a topic, these are the subsections which you'll be using your specification for, and you've got to just like blurt all of the information. If there is a gap, use another color pen and fill it in with your notes afterwards. And yes, it is so painful, like knowing that you've forgotten something. This is actively patching gaps in your knowledge. So blurting all the way, guys. And yeah. So these were my main study techniques. I can tell you hundreds and thousands of more techniques and methods which I did, but the biggest thing is overcoming the main challenge, which is getting rid of the friction or reducing it. Telling yourself how 30 minutes, oh, let me just quickly scroll on TikTok, when rather 30 minutes is so much time and you have so much potential to do some Anki flashcards or to just flick through your notes, to create a mind map, to blur, look through the specification, to do a one exam question. Like there is so much potential. All you have to do is just start. Right now, it's March. You've got time, you've got the knowledge, you've got the resources, right? Everything's available online. You've got to just plan it and you've got to know what works for you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this didn't take up way too much of your time. I know I used to also watch these studies videos as a form of procrastination, but I'm telling you guys, start like right now, like get up. And also, not to be so discouraged easily. You're in that stage of trial and error. Not everything is going to be 100% perfect. Whether you're in year 10 or year 12, remember you haven't covered all of the content just yet, so you are supposed to make mistakes. There are questions you aren't supposed to be able to answer. And if you're in year 11 and year 13, you're just at the foot of the hill, right? You're only going to go up. And then you're going to peak. And then you've got a fun ride down when you're enjoying your summer and you can just relax. Okay. Because mistakes are meant to guide you and not define you. Thank you.